Good evening, good morning, med spas. So what we're going to be talking about today is mastering sales in the clinic. So today we're going to be talking over a lot of points, table of contents I kind of provided if you got a chance to see that. But basically, what we're going to be looking over is the first part is building rapport and trust. Right, this is one of the most important. I'm probably going to say that a lot. This is one of the most important because honestly, everything is the most important. Right, you have to make sure everything is up to standard, and you're going to make sure that you're going to be able to do that at full execution, which takes a lot of time and effort. In the beginning, I always mention this as well to clients that in the beginning, all we have is time and energy. We don't have money to delegate tasks with right away. Maybe you do, and you're fortunate enough to have that, but it'll still require you to provide time and energy to teach your delegated people how to do sales and how to master sales as well. Right? So let's get into it. So the first part that we have is building rapport and trust. Now, sometimes our consultations only last, 30 minutes. I know some people, they take only 20 minutes. But, I would say if we're closing high ticket sales, right? If we're not closing high ticket sales, it's a lot easier. They're just more money motivated. And you know what? Hats off to them. Like, they're just not even going to need the sales process, right? You don't even need to implement most of these questions. You could just ask a few questions and ask them, hey, do you want to do the treatment or no? Because there's not much time that you have to spend on that, right? So what we're going to do is build trust and rapport for about 10 to 15 minutes. I have clinics that actually spend an hour on discovery. On an hour. Actually, some do actually spend an hour on discovery. Even right now, when I'm doing my own sales, I still spend like 40 minutes and 45 minutes on a discovery just alone, right? Because if we're trying to get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 out of someone's pocket, you're going to have to earn it. And, you earn it by building trust and rapport. And it's not all about small talk. I don't have small talk written here, but I'm going to talk to you about that as well. It's mostly about the questions you ask. Like if you, sometimes, for example, I had a clinic tell me, yeah, like, no, I built so much trust. I knew all about their family. I knew where they're going to travel next year. I know exactly what their history is. But that's not going to build a trust. The questions you ask and the way you talk to the customers, the way you're speaking to them is what's going to build a trust. Doesn't matter the questions you ask. The small talk won't build any trust. It will just make the conversation easygoing and more flowing. It'll make your sales a little bit easier. Right? So, yeah, definitely do a small talk. Find out about the family, whatever you can. That's easy to give. Sometimes they don't open up right away. You want to just get right into it. And then you can make them slowly open up. Okay, so can you tell me a bit about your current skin care or wellness goals? All right, so this is an example of a question, and by the way, none of these questions you have to ask word for word, and I don't recommend that either. Like, don't have after 10 15 consultations, you don't need a script anymore. You just need to make sure you study and you make sure that you know where the conversation is going, right? There's several directions where the sale usually goes sometimes. For example, this is a line, right? Sometimes the sales goes this way. Sometimes the sale goes this way. We want to always bring it down to the middle line. All right, so let me make myself a little smaller here. Let's see, is that easy to see? Myself a little smaller there. Perfect. So, can you tell me a bit about your current skincare or wellness goals? Like, what are they doing right now for skincare? What are they doing for their wellness goals? Okay. This opens up the conversation in a friendly, non-invasive way and helps you understand their priorities. Right? What led you to reach out to us today? Hey, you saw our advertisement. Is that correct? Awesome. And what made you kind of like our ad? What did you like about our video ad? What did you like about our image ad? And they're gonna tell you what they're interested in. Like right there is a dead giveaway. Like, okay, no, that sold them. This part of the video, this part of the image sold them. So maybe you want to bring that up later on in the sales, right? And that's why you gotta make sure you take mental notes, or if you have a clipboard, then you're gonna take notes on that clipboard as well. This helps identify their motivation and what they're hoping to achieve, right? And then you want to ask, you want to build a little bit more trust and rapport. This actually tells them, if you ask the right questions, and like I said, it's not going to happen right away, but eventually you get to a point where you're just asking the right questions, and those questions that you ask determine if they're going to trust you or not trust you. Okay, so make sure these questions you're asking for a reason, and you should always know what you're doing, and the customer should never know what you're trying to do. The customer should always think that you're trying to become their best friend, but you should always know where the sale is going to go. right? As cruel as that sounds, not exactly that way, but you'd always need to know exactly where you want the sales to go, right? This helps identify their motivation, like I said. So you want to ask them, how long have you been considering treatments, right? Like specific, if it's PRP treatment, you want to ask them, how long have you been considering PRP, right? And with a huge smile, right? One of the biggest smiles you made that week, make it with the consultations, right? You want to ask, like, how long have you been considering treatments like, PRP or Botox, right? Or laser hair removal. You want to smile a lot. You want to make them smile. Yeah, they're going to answer like, yeah, I was thinking about PRP for a long time. I don't, don't tell my wife, right? They're going to say something like that, like, or if it's a guy for PRP, for the woman, yeah, I've been looking around, like, I saw other women do it. I really, really want this treatment. And, I've just been thinking about it for 6 months. Okay. And then you say, with a concerned face, if they say something like, they're waiting this long, or like you see it's a potential pain point, you actually want to like raise your eyebrows a little bit, like, ask a little question, like follow up with that, right? Expand on it. That way they know that you're listening and you actually care about what they're saying to you. Oh no. Okay, so you've been waiting 6 months. Why haven't you gotten started yet? Like what's making you stop like getting started PRP treatment? Oh, I just wasn't able to find someone that, has a good price or whatever. And this is where you might feel the need to address their concern of price, or that you might address their need of like, trusting someone, having good reviews. It's a really rookie mistake, I would say, when people like follow up with like, try to sell yourself, right? You don't sell yourself during the building rapport and trust. You never want to sell yourself. You never want to say, oh, you haven't found that? I mean, our prices are really, really cheap. And, you don't want to say that at all, right? You don't want to say that. You want to keep that into yourself, because you don't want to come off of as overly salesy, right? That's going to give them a huge discomfort when it comes to actually giving them the price. They're already going to be thinking about the comment that you made earlier, right? This gives insight into how much they research and what they've done and their level of interest, right? And then you can ask, like, add something new there, like, have you visited a med spa before? If so, what was your experience like? And this helps you understand their past experiences and any potential concerns or expectations, right? Don't ask exactly what's on there. You can if you're in the beginning, right? But if you're a little bit experienced in sales and you're a little seasoned already, there's no need for you to ask these word for word questions. You can actually just build your own rapport and your own trust in your own way, right? But this is definitely is a good guideline. And if you don't have any question, then you're just drawing blanks in your brain, like, what can I say? This is exactly what you should start off saying for sure. See you on the second part, guys.